Cole Harrison heard the crash around midnight. It wasn't thunder. Thunder didn't shake the ground like that or leave a trail of fire across the Kansas sky. He grabbed his shotgun and his flashlight and headed into the wheat field, boots crunching through dried stalks. What he found was a metal pod the size of a shipping container, half buried in scorched earth, still hissing with heat. The hull was cracked open like an egg. Cole approached carefully, raising his light. Then he saw them. Dozens of them. Creatures stacked in transparent cells, one on top of another, barely enough room to move. They looked like dragons from old stories, scaled and winged, but small, fragile, dying. Their eyes glowed faintly in the dark, tracking his movement. Cole's breath caught. These weren't animals. He could see it in their eyes. Intelligence. Fear. Desperation. They were children. The cells were labeled in alien script he couldn't read, but he didn't need translation to understand what this was. A cargo shipment, living beings packed like merchandise. Cole set down his shotgun and stepped closer. One of the hatchlings pressed against the glass of its cell, tiny claws scraping. Its chest heaved with labored breathing. Cole found the locking mechanism, a simple pressure seal, and slammed his fist against it. The cell door hissed open. The hatchling tumbled out into his arms, light as a bird, trembling. Its scales were warm, shimmering gold and crimson. It looked up at him with eyes like molten amber, and Cole felt something pass between them. Not words, understanding. He opened the next cell, then the next, then all of them. The hatchlings surrounded him, wings fluttering weakly, chirping soft sounds that echoed with gratitude. One, larger than the others, stepped forward. Its scales were deep red, edged with black. It tilted its head, studying Cole, then pressed its forehead gently against his hand. Images flooded Cole's mind, a world burning, ships descending, hatchlings torn from nests, cages, darkness, pain. Cole's jaw tightened. He didn't know what species they were or where they came from, but he knew one thing for certain. He wasn't letting anyone take them. A light blinked inside the pod. Red. Pulsing. Cole's stomach dropped. A beacon. He'd triggered a distress signal. Whoever had been transporting these creatures would know their cargo had been opened. They'd come back. Cole looked down at the hatchlings clustered around him. The red one, the one he'd already started thinking of as Ember, met his gaze. There was no fear in those eyes now. Only trust! Cole picked up his shotgun and started walking back toward the farmhouse. The hatchlings followed, a river of scales and wings flowing through the wheat. He didn't know what was coming, but he'd be ready. 2 days later they arrived. 3 ships, sleek and black, descending from the clouds like vultures. They landed in Cole's field, scorching the earth with their engines. Doors hissed open and figures emerged. Humanoid, but not human. Tall, with chitinous armor and too many joints in their limbs, the leader carried a device that projected a hologram of Cole's face. It spoke in broken English, voice crackling through a translator. Human, you have opened restricted cargo. Return the specimens immediately or face consequences. Cole stood on his porch, shotgun resting on his shoulder. Behind him, the hatchlings watched from the windows of his farmhouse, eyes glowing. Ember stood beside him, scales bristling. They're not cargo, Cole said. They're people. And they're staying with me. The alien leader clicked its mandibles, a sound like laughter. They are property, registered under Galactic Commerce Law. You have no authority here. Cole leveled his shotgun. This is Earth. My land. My rules. The aliens moved forward. Ember's growl was low, resonating in Cole's chest. The other hatchlings emerged from the house, forming a circle around him. The air began to shimmer. Heat radiated from the hatchlings, distorting the space around them. The lead alien raised a weapon. Ember stepped forward, and the heat intensified into a wall of shimmering energy. The alien fired. The blast hit the barrier and dissipated into sparks. Cole grinned. I think you should leave. The aliens retreated to their ships, but the leader's voice crackled through the translator one last time. You have made an enemy of the Syndicate, human. We will return with enforcers. You cannot protect them. The ships lifted off, engines roaring, leaving scorched marks in the field. Cole watched them disappear into the sky, then looked down at Ember. The hatchling's eyes glowed brighter, and Cole felt another surge of images. Gratitude, determination, family. He knelt and placed a hand on Ember's head. "We'll figure this out," he said. Together. News spread fast. Within a week, the world knew about Cole Harrison and the Dragon Hatchlings. Cameras lined his property. Reporters shouted questions. Governments demanded answers. Then the Galactic Council made contact. A massive ship appeared in orbit, broadcasting a message to every screen on Earth. A council representative, a being of shifting light and crystalline structure, spoke with a voice like wind chimes. "The creatures in the possession of Cole Harrison are Drakonai, a restricted species under galactic law. They are the last survivors of a conquered world, stolen by smugglers. They must be surrendered to council custody for proper containment." Cole stood in his field, microphones thrust in his face, cameras rolling. "Containment?" he said. "You mean cages? These aren't criminals. They're children, and I'm not handing them over." The council's voice turned cold. "If Earth refuses to comply, you will be excluded from all galactic trade, communication, and protection. You will be isolated." Cole looked at the crowd gathered around his farm. Neighbors, strangers, people from across the country who'd come to stand with him. He looked at Ember, perched on the porch railing, wings spread. He turned back to the camera. "Then we'll stand alone." Humanity didn't stay quiet. Protests erupted in every major city. World leaders convened. The message was clear. Earth would not surrender the defenseless to those who saw them as contraband. The Galactic Council issued an ultimatum. Surrender the Drakonai within 72 hours, or face enforcement action. Cole didn't sleep much those 3 days. He spent his time with the hatchlings, watching them grow stronger, faster than should have been possible. Ember was nearly the size of a horse now, scales hardening into armor. The others followed her lead, forming a protective circle around the farm. On the final day, the sky darkened. Ships descended, hundreds of them bristling with weapons. The Galactic Enforcement Fleet. They surrounded Cole's farm, hovering like a storm. Military forces from Earth's nations arrived too, forming a perimeter. Tanks, soldiers, fighter jets circling overhead. The council's voice echoed across the field. Final warning. Surrender the Drakonai, or we will take them by force. Cole stepped forward, Ember at his side. The hatchling stood behind him, wings spread, eyes blazing. "You want them?" Cole shouted. "You'll have to go through us." The first shot never came from the Galactic Fleet. It came from Earth's forces, a warning volley into the sky, a declaration. The Drakonai began to glow brighter and brighter, heat radiating in waves. Ember pressed against Cole, and he felt it. Energy, power, flowing from her into him and through him into every human standing in that field. The bond wasn't just emotional. It was physical, symbiotic. The Drakonai didn't just need protection. They gave it back, amplified. The Galactic Fleet hesitated. Scanners detected the energy surge. The Council's voice returned, uncertain now. "What are you doing?" Cole smiled. "We're drawing a line. Earth protects the defenseless, no matter the cost. If you want to cross that line, come ahead." The ships hung in the air for a long moment. Then, slowly, they began to withdraw. The Council's voice echoed one last time. "This will have consequences, humanity." Cole watched the fleet disappear into the stars. Ember's wings folded, her glow fading to a warm shimmer. The other hatchlings gathered around, chirping softly. Cole knelt and placed his hand on Ember's scaled head. "Welcome home," he said. The crowd erupted in cheers. Humanity had made its choice. Earth was a sanctuary now, and the Drakonai had found their guardians.